So here's what your task list should be. Go set up that Gmail account I talked about so that you can abuse it when you're setting up all these logins instead of using your own personal address. Go set up a Twitter account. Go set up your LinkedIn account. LinkedIn will take a little bit of commitment here. You gotta put in your name. You gotta put in what you do, where you've worked in the past. Really take the time to go through their profile steps and establish some information about yourself. Put your links to your websites. Again, don't just use the generic My Website. If you have a WordPress blog, you can easily connect to your blog so that all your blog will feed on the bottom of your site as well. That's an application you can add. So really go through and try to fill out as much about yourself and so forth, and try to go and connect to people that you know. The other big thing on LinkedIn is going and finding groups you can be a part of. If you live in Milwaukee, if you Google, or if you go to their group section and you search like Milwaukee networking, you're going to get 500 business networking groups that are in the Milwaukee area on LinkedIn. Go join a whole bunch of them. MK Live, Link Up Milwaukee. John Wonders is in charge of, which is a great resource. And so, how many thousands of members are in Link Up Milwaukee?
6,600.
So 6,000 people in there. If you join that group, when your status updates, those people are notified. You have opportunity to post comments and have discussions about them. So again, go find communities and connect to them. LinkedIn, before you run another seminar or something, go and join your alma mater. Probably has one if you're UW grads, if you're Marquette grads, wherever. They've got, that alumni association's got a group. Be aware they're all trying to find jobs for alumni, but still, it's a good place to be. So find like-minded individuals if you're part of the state bar or anything like that. Is there a state bar Milwaukee one? A LinkedIn group?
No, I'm not sure.
Really? Britt hasn't started one? There might be one.
I think Britt does.
So there are groups that you should go join so that they get updated when when things go on in your own life. And so again, you're a part of all these groups now. You have a community that you've built, and every time you blog about a subject, it goes out to this entire community, and you have a URL that is uniquely tracked to every one of those blog posts that you can watch your reaction. So I get great enjoyment out of blogging and then just watching kind of clicks roll in, and it doesn't matter. I released that video about social media at like midnight, and by the time I woke up in the morning, 80 people had visited. So it's just kind of fun to watch how organically the whole process kind of works. If you have questions about LinkedIn, or if you have issues getting it set up, John Wonders at our office would be happy to sit down to help people get set up. As a part of his work with Link Up Milwaukee as well. And we have a sheet in with all your materials. Yes. About some suggestions for what to do in your LinkedIn profile, very specifically. Like LinkedIn, because it's very business-oriented. We don't see a lot of people talking about the pictures of their kids and so forth, but it's still a good opportunity. Sometimes professionals you work with are willing to kind of test the waters there before they're willing to jump into the Facebook or Twitter pool. So that's fine, and I would definitely do LinkedIn as soon as you can if you're not there. If you are there, you're probably not in enough groups, and you probably haven't really gone and expanded it. Get some recommendations, recommend some other people, and kind of walk through it. If anybody would like to recommend us on LinkedIn, that'd be great. We'll recommend you back. So set up a blog or get a free one at WordPress.com. So you can go to WordPress.com, sign up for your blog, and you can have one in 30 seconds. It'll be soandso.wordpress.com. Downsides to using that one versus hiring a company or buying one is you can't really customize the look. You can't install your own new templates. And you have some limitations on what you can do within it, but it will get you going and get you an opportunity. And if later you decide to install it on your own server, we can convert your WordPress blog that's free to a WordPress one on your own website. Why do I like WordPress? It seems like a lot of the social media sites have assumed you have WordPress first, so I think it's just one that's become more popular.
I also heard that the SEO is better for WordPress on Google than other blogs. Is that accurate? Or?
I would disagree. I would think Blogspot, Google's own product, I think they give preferential treatment to behind the scenes. So Blogspot, Google bought a long time ago when blogging first started. There is quite the rumor that they give preferential treatment, their algorithm, to their own stuff. That could very well be true. But again, that one's hosted only, so very limited as far as what you can do. But WordPress, I would agree that WordPress is easy to be well optimized. It's easy to have it really follow what search engines are looking for without much effort. So we're seeing a lot of people just have blogs as being their main site. just using WordPress as the mechanism for their whole web page, if that's what they're going to do. If you already have a main business site, a brochure site, etc., adding a blog to it is usually not that difficult. Where you place your blog is also an interesting discussion. Should it be under a separate URL? Should it be on the same URL your main site is on, is a common question we get as well. From a search engine standpoint, depending on where you're at, if your main site is where you need people to make the buying decision, and that's what we want to boost in value, then we're probably going to suggest you put that blog under your current URL. So blog.whateveryourname.com or a subdirectory of that, because we want to kind of hold all that credit into the main site if we can. Other times, a blog will be used as a way of reaching out to a new community, in which case you might want to buy your own URL and go reach out to people there. So if you kind of spread yourself out, you can end up kind of scattering a little bit your effect. Sometimes blogs that you want to keep close to the chest.
If you have it forwarded, like I have my blog on WordPress forwarded to my own domain name,
That's not helping you,
it's not helping at all?
because it's not getting indexed at the location. It's getting indexed back to its original one. Those forwards don't help you as much as you want. So if you were to install that on the same site as the rest of your web page, and actually have them both coexist in the same URL, you could get some of that bonus love from doing that. Set up a blog, sign up at Twitter feed. You need an account at Bitly as well. And with all those accounts in hand and all those passwords, again, just use your Gmail account in the same login. You'll be able to just kind of run through and set these all up, and then you won't get the spam that necessarily relates to them. I wouldn't be so worried about Twitter or LinkedIn. Sometimes it's nice to get the updates about who or what's going on versus having a separate email account. But for our clients, we're setting up separate accounts to set all this up for. And when we talk about video syndication, it'll be important to have these as well. So again, plan, write out some of your blogs posts ahead of time. Don't just do one for your first one and hope that you will write enough of the other ones in time. Pre-write a bunch of them. And then again, with all these blogs, make sure you have tracking installed, which we'll talk about here, because you're going to want to watch what people's reactions are. So we see blog posts on topics that are hot. We see that got a big reaction, and so we write more about it. Follow where the traffic is coming from. Let's talk money again. $500 pay-per-click, 125 people. A blog on the low end, 100 new unique people a month. That's 1,200 people a year. With syndication out across your other network, that's a weird way of saying 3,000. But I would say you get an additional 3,000 unique people a year minimum. That's the possible effect that a blog would have for you. These are small, conservative numbers. It also makes people more sticky. It gives them a reason to come back to you, to sign up for updates over email to your blog. It's a way to keep people and your brand repeatedly in front of them. So hunky-dory going along. Somebody in the organization was very willing to make an investment in blogging, spend the time. We chose to put the blog under the main website to try to get this number to go up. And then this is it. This is November 6th to December 6th. That was May 8th of 2009. We're now fast forward to November. We're up from 600 to 2,200 visitors in that given.